If you're a heating and air conditioning technician, how often are you asked to do side work? And how do you answer this question? This is a super important question. I'm Scott Sylvan Bell, coming to you live for HVAC Technician Sales Secrets on a perfect day to talk about sales and a perfect day to talk about you. So here's the thing. At some point, you are going to go to a homeowner's house, to their business, to some sort of residence, and there's going to be a conversation. This conversation happens a couple of different ways. It can be implied, like, hey, what would it be like if you came back later and did this? And like, you have to like suss out, like, oh, they're offering me to come back and do side work. Like, I didn't realize, like, there was a couple of times where I was a tech where the person was like, what would happen if you came back on the weekend to do this? Or what would happen if you came back later on tonight to do this? I'm like, what? You mean like right now's not a good time? Like your calendar doesn't work? They'd go, no. What would it be like if you came back and did it later? I'd be like, oh, well, considering how much I make per year and the reputation that I have, like I would come back and do this for a couple of $1 million off the books. And they go, no, that's crazy talk. I'm like, you're asking me to do something that I don't believe in. The second way that people will come out is they'll say, hey, do you ever do side work? they may flat out ask you to do it. And then like the third way is like, well, what would it be if it was a cash price? A cash price. And you need to know that whatever way that you're going to answer this, you need to pre-plan this right now. You need to be able to say, look, that's not something that I do. I have a code of ethics at my company. It's not something that I'm willing to do. I don't believe in doing that. And this is why you should join HVAC Technician Sales Secrets. I give you the goods. Not in the Facebook group, not in the YouTube channel. And you're like, hey, Scott, like, give me some reasons why. Okay, well, first and foremost, the company that you work for paid quite a bit of money to get you out there. In long-term advertising, like right now, to get a heating and air lead in the middle of summer is probably, I don't know, between $200 and $600. By the time that you're all in, you're like, really? It costs $200 to $600 for every one of those phone calls? Absolutely. Sometimes $800 to $1,200, okay? Second thing is they paid for your time, your energy, your effort, your hourly wage, your taxes, and everything for you to be there to go run that call, to go have a conversation with a homeowner. And then third of all, it's their reward, right? Like they budgeted for you to go out there and sell some sort of a part. And you're like, but Scott, it's so expensive. Like the parts are so expensive. Like, have you ever tried to run a business? Like maybe you didn't know that ads could be $200 to $1,200 to acquire one lead. Right? Your $49 dispatch fee, your $89 dispatch fee, your $100 dispatch fee does not cover the cost of you getting out to run that lead by the time you figure out man hours, by the time that you figure out advertising costs, by the time you figure out business burden. And everything's expensive. Like you own a house, it's expensive. You want to get a roof, 30 to 60 grand. You want to get a heating and air unit, depending upon where you're at in the country, $12 to $80,000. I don't know what you're going to pick. You want to get your yard redone? $15 to $80 to $100,000, right? It's expensive to own a home. It's expensive to run a business. And so you have a role and responsibility to do the right thing. So if somebody came to me like, hey, Scott, how do I broach the topic of side work? I'm like, you don't do it. You don't. Somebody comes to you and says, hey, I want to have you do side work. In whatever way I lined out, like they're either implicit or they're explicit or they're like kind of like hiding behind what they're trying to say. You as a salesperson will do, or as a technician will do very well in life to realize that you have a role and responsibility, a mission and purpose to respect the company that you work for and not do side work. Don't do it. Don't get caught up because eventually you will get caught. There you go. There you go. I really don't have much to say except for figure out a way that right now today that you're going to tell somebody, I'm sorry, I don't do side work. Sorry, I can't do that. Sorry, it's not the way that we work here. Sorry, I've got a code of ethics. Whatever way you want to say it, practice it now because chances are pretty good in the next 30 days, it's going to come up. You got one or two things to do from here? Just one or two. Find the subscribe button, click on it every time I send out a video. You'll get an update or hit follow. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.